Welcome back, guys, to the course on information security, and we are covering a chapter where we are talking about internet security issues. We covered up to malvertising in our last lecture. We'll be talking about drive-by downloads today. Drive-by downloads means that the attacker attempting to infect the website directly, and it can result in a user computer becoming infected just by viewing a website. He'll upload certain scripts on their website. First, they'll try to compromise the server on which the website is hosted, and then they'll inject some code on the website. With the help of that, they'll be able to transfer those code or those scripts from the web server to the client computers. Attackers attempt to inject malicious content by exploiting it through the vulnerabilities in the web server. Injected content is not visible by the naked eye. Now, what's happening in this situation is that there are lots of applications that we are using, especially the open source content management systems like Joomla and WordPress. They are constantly releasing their updates because of the reason that if there is any vulnerability is identified in their application, they highly recommend you to upgrade it to the latest version so that you can keep your website and web server safe from any kind of infections. We have seen it a number of cases that the websites which were built quite old, like on Joomla 1.5 and 1.6, if some websites are still running those websites, there are high chances that those websites will be compromised. There are known vulnerabilities on the coding of Joomla at that time. People can easily find the websites which are still hosted using the version of a older version of Joomla. They'll try to penetrate in the web server, and then they'll try to add some malicious code, or they'll embed the code in the coding of Joomla. For example, if you are visiting the website and you are constantly coming on the website to view the content and download the files, you won't even know the files will be copied from those pages to your computer, and then they'll get access to your computer. They can collect various different kind of information from the code that is being embedded on the website. They can gain access to the files, they can read your data, they can even read the financial transactions which are happening on that website. So it's our responsibility to make sure that our web server is 100% secure, and the data and the information has not been compromised on the website. Our next topic here is about cookies. Now, we must keep one thing in mind, that HTML does not have the mechanism for a website to track whether the user has previously visited the website or not. We are tracking all that information using the cookies. Now, there are different kind of cookies which contain different kind of information on the computer. For example, an HTML page, the website that you are visiting, it might have certain cookies downloaded as soon as you'll visit the website. The main reason of keeping those cookies over there is it maintains personalized individual users' preferences about the website, the items that they are interested in, the kind of settings you are maintaining on the computer, and the basic stuff which is required for identifying a user on the website. Once that's done, they don't need to ask further questions about the information each time the user is visiting the website. The server can store the user specific information in a file on the user's local computer and then retrieve it for the future visits. This file is called, usually termed as a cookie. User specific information file is created on the server, stored on a local computer. Now, there are three kind of cookies which are available. First kind of cookie is described as a first party cookie created by a website for the user who is currently viewing that specific website. For example, when viewing a specific website, the cookie would be created by the name of the website on the hard drive, where whenever the user would return back to the same website, the cookie would be used by the site to view the user's preferences and better customization of the browsing experience, like the items you are interested in, the pages that you have visited, the settings that you have on the website, and basic stuff like that. Second kind of a cookie is a third-party cookie. Now, some websites attempt to place additional cookies on the user's computers. These cookies often come from a third-party advertising network that advertise on the site and want to record some user preferences in order to tailor the ads which would appear on the website. You might have seen that if you have searched for an item on Amazon.com or eBay.com, and if you're viewing something on your Facebook page, you'll see relevant ads which are appearing on your Facebook. Now, you didn't search for those items on Facebook, you searched for those items on Amazon or eBay. But since they are maintaining the cookies over there, and these advertisement companies are following the information which is available in terms of cookies, so they are displaying that information in front of you that maybe you are interested in these items, and there are high chances that you'll click on those items in order to make a purchase. The last kind of a cookie that we have, we call them locally stored objects. Locally stored objects are named after a flash file. We call them as a flash cookie as well, coming from the word Adobe Flash. And the cookies are significantly different from regular cookies that can be stored on the computer, and it can maintain far more complex data inside the cookies as compared to a regular cookie. By default, the locally shared objects, or we call it LSOs, can store up to 100 kilobyte of data from a website, which is about 25 times higher or more than a regular cookie that we are maintaining on the computers. It's always a good practice to keep on cleaning the cookies on the computer. But if you'll clean it, sometimes there are some cookies which are required for certain websites. Maybe when once you'll be visiting those websites, you'll have to set up those options again, or you'll have to make the basic customization on the data. Now, the problems in storing those cookies is that these first party cookies, if they are stored on the computer and they are stolen by any script or any person who has penetrated in the network, they can easily use that information to impersonate a user, finding about his preferences, what he likes, what he does not like. And further, the third party cookies can be used to track the user browsing and buying habits, etc. Next in our topic is email risk, and above all, the first of one is spam, which is unsolicited emails that we receive on daily basis. Now, they are very lucrative for the business and cost very little to send. Almost all spam is sent from the botnets. They'll try to collect the information about the users by cookies, or if you're signing up on the websites, they are collecting the information about the users. And then if there is a typical pattern that you are interested on, or for example you are constantly searching for an item on different websites like GPUs for the computers, or RAM, or latest laptops, or USBs, or anything like that, they'll categorize different email addresses based on the interest, and then they'll keep on sending you the emails with the data that you are interested in. Now, it costs very little to send those emails out, but out of for example, if they have sent a million emails to the users, if even few of them would click on it and make a purchase, they are making a fortune on that. Second problem is that most of us are using the same email address for their personal use and for buying online and all those things. So once that email address is compromised or is with these kind of spammers, they'll keep on sending you the emails which are not specifically, you might not be interested in that one. So it's always a good idea to have a personal email address which you are not using anywhere else but for your personal communication, official communications, or the emails that you are exchanging between your friends and family members. So those email addresses are usually not leaked out like that often as your public email addresses are being leaked out. Now, we can have certain spam filters on our emails which can block the emails with a containing a specific word or anything. For example, if you visited a pharmacy website or any specific medicine, they'll keep on sending you advertisements for that. And if you see a typical word via the email address or the subject, if it's constantly coming through that account, you can create a block filter for that, and automatically as soon as an email would be received from that person, would be sent to your spam emails. Now, there is another third kind of an spam which is called an image spam, uses a graphical image for the text to circumvent the text based filters. Actually, the wording will be picked by the spam filters. Those, they are sending you the images with the advertisement, so that The filters cannot read the text which is written on the images, and it goes through. The best way is that if you are working in an organization and you are using an email which is provided by the organization, you must inform any spam which you are receiving to your email admins, so that they can block those specific kind of emails which are constantly coming on your email address. Now, the problems which are associated with spam is that it affects us by the productivity. You'll be busy in reading those useless emails, and usually they are so attractive that you cannot ignore them. It would affect in loss of productivity, money spent on spam filter software that we are using in the organization, and wide distribution of the malware which might come in with the emails that you're receiving, because you don't know what kind of content is attached with the email or any attachments or anything. They might send you a coupon, or they might send you an executable file or anything like that. Once downloaded, it would affect your computer, and eventually it would affect the network. Now, the malicious contents are also coming with these kind of emails as spam files sent via the emails. When attachment is open, computer is infected and replicated by sending themselves in an email message to the entire list of contacts that you have in your mail list. So they, first of all, it would be downloaded on your computer, then it would look for all the contacts that you have or the contacts that you frequently contact, and then they'll start sending similar emails to those guys as well. So it's like affecting your computer and affecting the people with whom you were in contact with. Now, there are some embedded links as well in the emails, which is a hyperlink, and within an email message. By looking at the email address, you cannot judge that it's the actual email address or not, because it's a hyperlink. You can have any title of a hyperlink, and under that link there could be a different email address which is appearing. So you'll click on it without noting down the email address, and actually you're contacting the person and not your colleague whose name or the email address was appearing in the title of the email. Now, directs the user to attacker website. Once you click on it, maybe it would redirect you to their own websites, and hyperlink may display only words. It might not have the link which is actually appearing over there, and attacker website which will look very much similar to the legitimate website which you were planning to visit. Now, that's happening in most of the cases when they are trying to get the username and passwords of the users. They'll create a similar page that you have in your organization with exactly the same logos and everything. As soon as you click on the link that your account has been compromised, and you are suggested to follow this link as soon as possible to change your password, you'll click on it, you'll enter your real username and password, and they'll capture it, and then they'll show you a message that your password has been successfully changed. So that's how they are sending these email and collecting your information, by cheating the guys and showing them a wrong website which is not intended to be there. Now we'll see that how can we defend ourselves, or how can we protect ourselves from these kind of problems that we have. Defending against internet based attacks begins with the having the computer properly secured. When we say that it should be properly secured, it means that all required latest update patches must be applied to the computer. You must configure a firewall so that you can control which traffic is going out of your computer and which traffic is coming in from the internet on your computers. You must have properly and updated antivirus installed, making sure that it's updating its definitions on regular basis. You must have an anti-malware software as well, which comes in handy nowadays. If you are purchasing an antivirus suite, it comes in with internet security like a firewall, an email anti-spam, and all those things are bundled together. You must monitor the user account control, where we can see that if someone is trying to install anything, it should pop up a window telling you that it's going to change these things on the computer. Are you sure you want to make the changes? And then you must also have a backup plan, or an automated backup scheduled on your computer, which is constantly taking the backup of the computer either on premises or in the cloud. Now, once the computer is secured, additional steps to resist the internet-based attacks are securing your web browser. Make sure you are updating it on regular basis. Make sure that you are not installing any plugins which you are not aware of. making sure that your PC don't have an access to any other person who is not authorized to use that computer. Maintaining email defenses, contain or create proper filters or spam filters on your computer, that only the persons who are authorized or the emails which are being received are thoroughly checked and they are clean. If you receive an email from a person which is not known to you or by your organization, you can simply move them to spam. If you want, you can check them, but it's recommended not to open any links which or attachments which are appearing in these kind of emails. Follow the internet security best practices, can only protect you from these kind of attacks. Now, next is web browser configuration and settings. Most web browsers are highly customizable, where you can set up different settings for the Java applets and the codes which are running, even the cookies and pop-up blockers and all those different things. So it's up to you how you want to customize your browser. Google Chrome web browser can be configured for security, privacy, for cookies, JavaScript, plugins, and pop-ups, and lots of other things. As you can see in the settings, this is a Google Chrome settings, and you can enable and disable the settings based on your preferences. Now we can have some advanced settings on the Google Chrome as well, like passwords and forms. It's collecting the information and then syncing it with the devices which are connected to your Google account, so that if you are accessing it from any other account, the same information must appear over there. But make sure that you are constantly changing the password of your Google accounts. If that one account is compromised, someone would get all the username and passwords and data related to you. You must keep an eye on the downloaded files. If they are not required, delete them from there. Clear the browsing data. There is an option in Google Chrome that if you are exiting a browser, it would automatically delete the internet history and rest of the things from the browser. Use a web service to help resolve the navigation errors, and advanced sync settings are there, which is syncing your all devices with the same data. Now, the browser additions are popular. Additions include the website reputation plugin, which is there, which tells you that if this is an authentic website or not. Plugin validation is there, which checks that the plugins that you are using on the browser, whether they are authentic or not. URL expander is there, which is checking the overall health of the website. Then we have ad blockers, which are blocking unnecessary ads which appear on your computer. And then there are cookie stopper as well, which helps us blocking the cookies which are automatically downloaded on our computers. Email defenses could be spam filter, as we have explained already. Then setting security options in a client-based email program, like if you are using Microsoft Outlook or any other client in order to maintain different email accounts under your Microsoft Outlook or any third-party application, you must have proper filters for that, where you are filtering the emails based on the subject or accounts. You can even enable the settings that don't download the attachments unless and until they are checked. So by the default behavior, if you'll keep it open, any attachment that would be received, it would be automatically downloaded. But it's highly customizable, where you can choose that which things should be downloaded and which things should not be downloaded. Now, spam filters can be implemented by the user computer or incorporated by the ISPs, which are internet service providers. I don't think internet service providers are doing that thing. It's in your organization, where you have your own Exchange server, and your email admin is there, which is keeping an eye on all the incoming and outgoing emails. The best way is to inform them, so that they can set up proper filters and can save you all from the spam which is received on regular basis. Now, email client spam filters like block senders are there. You can create a blacklist of users who are constantly sending you spam. Then you can create a list of allowed senders list, like we call them a whitelist as well, for which all emails which are received from that individual would be directly transferred to your inbox without being checked. And block top level domains, which are there, which you think that they are not the legitimate websites, or they are a bit suspicious, so you can simply block them in your email clients. Now, different options are there in email security as well, like local email client settings, reading the messages in the reading pane, and malicious scripts are not activated automatically. It would first check the email before it would be opened and then block the external content like any hyperlinks or pictures or images or video files which are embedded inside the email would be blocked if you are properly setting up the security settings of your email. Further, in your emails, you must set up the account recovery options that if someone gain access to it or if you'll forget the password, what would be the procedure? Check the account for unusual activity. In most of the email clients, even Gmail and other services provide you all that information where you can check that from which IP addresses, dates, and location your account has been checked. So you must keep an eye on that, making sure that no one else has the access to your emails and they are checking, and verify the general settings in the emails. Then we'll move towards the attachments. Some email clients can allow or preview the attachments without opening them. So if it is required, if it's an official thing, only then you can download it on the computer. Otherwise, you can simply view it on the computer and leave it over there. Microsoft Office attachment protection is there, which opens the email in a protected view where it's a read-only view and it disables any editing or anything like that on the emails. They are doing the same thing in Word documents and Excel sheets as well, where those documents also open in a protected view. If you want and if you think that it's a safe email, only then you can enable the settings and make the modifications on those emails. Now, best practices could be downloading the files only from the well-established websites, which you know that they are authentic. Don't download any stuff from any of the website, even if they are claiming that we are giving all that material for free. It's better to check it thoroughly if the website is secure or not. Controlling the cookies, what cookies should be stored on the computer and what cookies must not be stored on the computer. Browser should set to delete all cookies when the browser is closed, and then private browsing pages visited will not be recorded to the history in the address bar. So you can always go to incognito mode and try to view the website which you think is a bit dodgy or it's not a legitimate website. You can open it in a incognito mode where it does not have access to any of the data or your password which is stored in the browser. Pop-up blocker should be enabled and clear the cache on regular basis for the for your browsers. And that's it as far as this chapter is concerned. Thank you very much.